Hello and welcome to episode 175 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
We live in a society.
What do you think about that, Batman?
I'm Jeff Mayo.
I want that trailer. I just want that trailer to just hang on his face when after he says Batman, he just like stares into the camera for like a full 5 minutes. That's
Not
what
even damaged
that's what I think
anymore.
it's. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I guess they had some pretty good tattoo removal technology in Gotham.
Yeah.
We have to talk about it for a second.
Okay.
What do you think? It looks very Zack Snyder. Very Zack Snyder.
That aspect ratio.
That's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
For you, I'm not gonna watch this shit, but that's gonna be weird for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. General, it's impossible to actually distill how you feel. But what did you think? What did you think about the fact that you're gonna be watching that movie for 4.5 hours?
Hail Dark Side. I don't know. Yeah, it's I'm probably not gonna like it. If you're saying there might be some cool things like characters I love since childhood punching each other in live action. That's probably about the most I'm gonna get out of it. And even then, like, I don't care for the Zack Snyder's what his special effects, way he does that has become.
No, I super don't. I mean, yeah, I feel like Man of Steel, it was like a tasteful level of the kind of, I don't even know how they explain. He just has a very unique style. Yeah. And it was like a tastefulness of it. And then like Batman vs. Superman is like, okay, we've gone too far. And then Justice League seems like it's like, okay, we really have gone too far. And then now it's like, okay, we're losing it. Are we even watching, like, we're basically watching a video game cutscene at this point.
Yeah. I guess to make it clear, I've said it multiple times. I have not seen the original Justice League movie. Going to try to watch it before this happens.
Time's ticking.
Yeah. When we get around to it, when Will and I do a spoiler cast for it, I'll be up to date, be able to talk about what's different and all that kind of.
Yes.
But as far as I know, Darkseid's not supposed to be in it, the original one, or at least not in the way he was in that trailer, especially not Granny Goodness.
No.
Who was also in that trailer. So, yeah. Already some difference. Obviously, Joker being there is different. I have no idea what his role is.
Apparently, where he was in that shot, that was like a nightmare dream sequence from Batman. So I'm assuming that he's part of the nightmare dream sequence. Not
Zack Snyder, you're not supposed to give into the memes that way.
What the fuck do we live in a society? It's like, come on.
That's supposed to be the Instinger thing.
It was
to get people excited.
The Instinger is... It's a meme. It's an actual meme plus Jared Leto Joker. Like, are these two things supposed to get us excited? I don't know. Yeah. I hope y'all have fun.
I think the whole thing about it is like even going into this movie, let's say somehow it turned out being good. Mm-hmm. Just hypothetically, Darby.
This crazy universe.
Like, they pretty much said it's not leading to anywhere. Like, it's not like necessarily leading to anywhere. It's not going to really be affecting the DC universe. So it's kind of like this whole thing. It's fascinating to see like how we got here.
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
But as far as like the overall DC stuff, it's kind of like why.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that Zack Snyder, because obviously he went through a lot of tragedy around then, and he couldn't do the movie that he was promised to be able to do. So it is cool in the sense that he's getting to fulfill that and basically make a whole nother movie. Yeah. So, I mean, that is cool for him. And I think if you liked Batman vs. Superman, all this stuff, I think you'll probably get some level of enjoyment out of this. If you didn't like Batman vs. Superman, you're probably going to hate this as well, just like I did.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, probably maybe even more. It's just a lot more of it. 4.5 dang hours. But briefly, Jeff, this is a gaming podcast, and we have a lot of gaming stuff to talk about. But just very briefly, I want to give us like a minute or two on the clock. How good is WandaVision?
Very good.
It's so damn good. It's like, this is like some of the most excited I've been about the MCU in a long time. Yeah. And the week-to-week thing has been wonderful.
Yep. Don't know how much we're going to get. Obviously, not getting the spoilers here, but we will be doing a spoiler cast.
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Don't know exactly who's all going to be on it. Obviously, yes, but
yeah, might be able to get Will on that maybe I'll see if Chad and or Holden will, or someone. We'll see. It'll happen in some way, shape, or form. But if you're not watching WandaVision, legit, y'all should go watch WandaVision. It's shaping up to be like one of the most unique MCU things I've ever seen, and probably is going to have a lot of big implications.
Yeah, what they're heading to, yeah.
It's gonna be a big deal, I believe. It's just been so much fun, like reading up on people's wild predictions. Cool shit. All right, video games, I guess. Fine, whatever.
Okay, there. We're starting with a biggin.
Biggin? Is this when Jeff finally got into Call of Duty?
Yep. Now we're talking about Bowser's Fury.
Ooh, he's mad. He's so mad.
So mad. Yeah, so 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is out. Me and you have dabbled in 3D World a little bit. We don't need to talk about that. We can give Europe impressions when we get more into the game.
Yes.
Talk about all that kind of stuff. And I guess for me, the co-opness of it, because I played single player before. So we'll talk about that later. We just got
yes, we haven't played enough.
I have played, I don't know, hour and a half to 2. No, I don't even think it's that much. Probably an hour and a half-ish. Range, closer to that range of Bowser's Fury. I've gotten about 20 cat shines. Which I know there were 100 of them, and it takes about 3 hours apparently to beat the game, and then 6 hours to 100% the game.
Right.
So kind of get that right. So about 20% of the way through the game.
Nice.
Nice way to deal with that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cats here. You can tell it's cat shine.
Everything is
cat shaped. The bushes are cat shaped. The trees are. All enemies have cat ears and tails. Lighthouses are cats.
Not for people that hate cats, I guess.
No. No. And they're also we saw them in trailers. Those little cats that are the same color as the other playable characters. Cat costumes. There's a green one, there's a pink one, there's a blue one, there's a black one for all of them, and they just go around and be cute until Bowser awakens, and then they turn evil. They're gonna attack you.
Oh, jeez.
But what's nice about them is when you're wearing the cat costume, they come up and rub against you.
No, until they start biting you.
Yeah, and then Bowser comes out and just they sound ah.
That's awesome. So going into this, so what is the spread of this between feeling like a 3D World expansion type thing, a Mario Odyssey influence thing, or something just completely different not related to either of them?
So yeah, just playing it and from the trailer and stuff, definitely takes a lot from 3D World, just from the power ups and all that kind of stuff, because it is using the power ups from the game, using assets from the game, of course, and using some of the kind of things you see during the main game, but actually having to twist them because you have a completely controllable 3D camera at all times, compared to 3D World where you had very limited control over that. And it's just kind of a 2D, 3D is weird, course-based thing.
Yeah, definitely from its core, it's very different. It feels very...
And this is just a big open world. You see where Bowser is at all times. You battle him multiple times through this game. You become the Super Saiyan cat thing multiple times. Okay. And each time you beat him at each integral, you just unlock more of the map. And also...
So that's not just a one-time in-game thing they were showing us?
No, but I battled him twice. That way, he got a different move the second time, so it's it ramps up.
Okay.
So it's not just it's looking like it's at least not the same thing every single time. At the very least, there's as another move to his rotation.
Gotcha.
As far as the open world, the way it seems to be set up is there are these little mini areas where there's lighthouses is the main focal point of each area, and it seems to be 5 cat shines per area that you gotta collect, and a lot of the. So far, it seems to be pretty. The way it seems to be set up, at least 2 of them for each one is one just going through that area and getting to the lighthouse, and there's always a cat shine there, or collecting these mini cat shine. Once you get 5 of them in each of the area, you get the big one. Okay, kind of getting star pieces and stuff.
So is it you going back through the same thing, doing something else, same area, doing something else to get the other things? So it's
And there have been changes to it when I've gone back there. Like, okay, I did it. I fought Bowser, went back there. Oh, this is a little different. There's like a little Swiss that does it, and I got to collect all the blue coins in the area and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So it changes throughout. Also, it's something I can see potentially getting annoying. When you go into these areas, there are these unbreakable blocks that have Bowser's face on them that obviously mean, oh, Bowser has to break this shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you do that, you can get some more cat shines or access to them. And you have to wait for Bowser to awaken.
That's definitely when people describe the whole idea to me. That seems like it's potentially the most flawed concept because you might have to just sit there because Bowser is just like on a timer, right?
Pretty much, I don't know what the exact time is. I don't know if it's like a set amount of time. It felt like it's kind of been different.
Yeah.
Between the times that he's awakened, but there are like visible cues, like. You know, like I said, you can move the camera at any time and see where Bowser is. Kind of, I guess he's always in the center of the map, maybe. But at the beginning, he's like completely submerged in the water goo thing. Then he rises, so slowly out of it, and then at some point it starts raining, and that's usually when it starts kind of raining hard. That's a sign. Oh, he's about to bust out any moment now, and then it just turns dark and he's there.
Yeah.
So you know when he's coming, at least.
I feel like that will be annoying if it's like, okay, this is the last thing I need to do. Just come out. Or if he just came out and it's like, oh, get to the box, damn it.
Yeah, and one thing that like kind of got me is when you get a cat shine, he goes away. So there was like one part, at one of the areas, there were two sets of Bowser blocks that like, okay, I need him to break these. But one of them, I got a cat shine immediately. So when I got that, he went away. It's like, okay, now I gotta, wait again to do it. But I'm at the point of the game where, kind of on me if I want to wait or not, because there's still so many more I can do. Just kind of.
It'll be more later in the game. It might be more annoying, but
it'll be like when I 100% and I'm like, okay, where do I need to go get this? Oh, it's obviously this. I need to. Okay, wait, but the way it's not like horrendous, like that. I know that will probably get annoying once or twice, 100%. That's just the way it's going to happen. But it seems to be no more than a couple minutes.
Yeah,
between him awakening and also something when you get the cat shine when he's awakened and he goes away, he loses some of his health. So whenever you do fight him, like if you do it right, you could fight him with like half health. Whenever you become the Super Saiyan cat. Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't always fight him when he comes out. Does he just rampage on? He just goes away on his own. You don't have to do something. Yeah,
he'll go away on his own unless you get a cat shine. And again, more reason you want him because there are the breakable stuff. And when he is summoned, there are these platforms that like fall from the sky or some shit, and you need those to get to some other areas.
Okay, so is that part of the fun of this is like piecing together how they want you to tackle the open world thing? Yeah.
And from what I could tell, I don't think at least the ones I did, it looked like Bowser being there doesn't like keep me from getting any of the cat shines. Besides, if he just hits me a lot, I mean, he makes it harder, but he doesn't. I don't think actively stop me from doing it.
Yeah,
because one of the times I unlocked Plessy at some point, I was running away from Bowser at some point on Plessy, like Then there was a little Plessy thing, like in the middle of the ocean, like okay, let's see what this is. Then it summoned like a little track thing that you're supposed to ride Plessy through. So I did that while Bowser was out.
They get pretty like hectic.
Yeah, so like I was like, okay, Bowser, don't hit me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, got to the end. Bye, Bowser.
That's cool. I mean, so what do you think overall about the platforming and all of this? Does it feel cool and new, or does it kind of feel like
so it's not necessarily new in the way this is all stuff Mario done before, but it is different in the way of it is a 3D or the Odyssey kind of more camera way, but with the 3D world style philosophy on platforming a little more. Like the actual way you control Mario and Odyssey is fantastic.
Yes.
But a complaint of it, which I get 100%, and Odyssey is my favorite game of all time.
No, there's nothing wrong with Odyssey. There's no complaints for us.
Well, it's the fact that it does lack platforming challenges in comparison to the rest of it. Like just pure platforming challenges.
Gotcha.
And this is kind of like that. Like what people, seems to be more what people would want out of that. Maybe it's more an Odyssey, where it's just okay. It's these platforming challenges in this 3D camera way, whatever.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just bad at video games, so there's definitely some parts in Odyssey that I struggled with. But
nothing. I mean, I'm early in the game, but nothing of this sounds bad, or it's been hard so far.
Yeah. So I mean, do you think what we were going into it with you feel like that is a good way of describing it? Is it's like a merge between Odyssey and 3D World in a lot of ways?
The thing is, again with the Odyssey one, when you think Odyssey, you obviously think the capture mechanic. Obviously, that's not here, but yeah. The best way to do it, the best way to describe it, I think, is kind of the mixture of the design philosophies of those games.
Yeah, I mean,
world and platforming based.
Yeah, when you stop and think of like what the game that this is DLC for is a completely level based fixed camera platformer. I mean, this is very different when it's open world. You can control. You're running around single player. I mean, other than apparently you can do 2-player, but it's not really the focus.
Yeah. And it'd be very interesting to see if this is like an experiment for a future more. Because something else that's pretty cool is, you got all these power-ups, and there are definitely some areas where it doesn't seem like you necessarily need a certain power-up to get past it, but there's like one that has a mind to at least make it easier, or that's the intended one. What's cool about this game is you can stack on power-ups. In the bottom left corner, you just have all the power-ups line up, and you can have up to 5 of any one, and you can choose them and switch between them at any time.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yep. I think that's
awesome.
all I'll say about that right now. I am loving the hell out of it.
Nice. I'm glad. The Cinemab scene from other people, and is not surprising. They say that like Bowser's Fury probably on its own alone without anything else is probably not worth $60.
Yeah,
if you have no interest in playing 3D World.
I get that. Yeah, if you have no interest in 3D World or you have already played
it and don't want to replay it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But if you're interested in 3D World, obviously I think that's $60 worth $60 alone. But between these two, like, that's a slam dunk, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you have a fantastic game along with Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, you have a fantastic quote unquote full game and what seems to be a fantastic kind of mini game,
a cool dessert.
But, I say I struggle to say like a half game thing because I want to help kind of normalize short games can be real games too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
it's shorter than other Mario games, but it's still a 3 to 6 hour adventure. So to me, that's a full game.
Yeah, Bowser's Fury is definitely a weird, like, kind of unprecedented half. Like, it's a weird thing where it is kind of like DLC, but it's pretty meaty DLC, but it's packaged onto the thing. It's like
I guess I would kind of. I'll use this like Witcher 3's DLC stuff. I know that's more of a meteor package. So it may not be the best comparison, per se, but it's kind of like this is an expansion thing, but it can be its own game.
It's also just weird because it's like such a big departure, such a big change that it seems like. I'm not surprised Nintendo didn't do it, but I think it would have been slightly cool if they offered this on its own for like $20 or $30. But they want to sell them 3D worlds.
Yep.
But cool. Be interested to see where this game sells. I think a lot of people who haven't played 3D World, like me, are going to end up playing 3D World now.
I just realized something that we didn't put on the docket. NPDs came out on Friday.
I could have sworn we just did NPDs. We can look them up at the end of the podcast, maybe. Okay.
Now, Darby, it's not a new game.
No, it is not, but it is a game that I had never heard of before, and I'm a little disappointed in the video game industry for me not having heard of this game before.
You hear that? Video game industry is all your fault.
I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed. The game is called Forgotten Anne. It is a game that came out in 2018, apparently published by Square Enix. I really don't know a ton about the development of the game, but it feels like it's definitely like an indie game. And it said Square Enix publishing. I think this is
they're like a weird name.
Yeah, it was I think this must be an indie dev made this, and I think Square is publishing it, almost like a EA Originals thing is what I'm assuming. I don't.
That's what I get. That was my read on it.
Yeah, I don't think this was a Square Enix developed a game or anything like that. But regardless, this came out in 2018. Apparently, I had never even heard of it, but it was on the Steam sale that's going on right now for like $8 or something. It was like sub $10. I don't remember what it was. And I literally just like, I saw the art style. I saw it had like 9 out of 10 reviews. Saw like a one trailer, and I'm like, it looks like a playable Miyazaki movie. It looks like a Spirited Away, but like in a video game. It was like $8. I'm like, sure, fuck it, let's go. Let's just do it.
Go in, man.
Let's just do it. So I literally knew like nothing about this game, and I just went into it. And I'm close to the end because it's only like 7 hours for how long to beat. I've played for 6 hours, and I just like looked at the walkthrough chapters, and I'm like pretty close, I think, to the end. And this game is like, really, really good. This is a really, really, really good hidden gem that now just solidifies like 2018 is the best year of video games ever. Though, like, I get to add this on there too. Yeah, like legit, this game really should have been talked about more. It is that when I got into it, like it is straight up like a Miyazaki movie. Like they could make this into a movie and I would gladly see it. I mean, it's paced kind of like that too, and it's very cinematic in that way, and it's cool that it has like animated cutscene things or whatever, but those cutscenes like blend right into the gameplay. Like the cutscene will like, you'll like flip, it'll have the person and then she'll turn and the camera will just like drift out and it'll just become the game or whatever, which is like really cool how like seamless that always works. And I feel like because the game is like almost strictly a puzzle game, it says platformer on there. It's not really like with the actions you're doing. It's not like you're like timing jumps to do all this stuff. You're not like nimbly going. It's like
I think they put platform. I'm assuming it does this anything that's 2D that you kind of climb on something.
yeah, basically. And you do like there are some timing jumps that you have to do, but it's not like you're not zipping around doing all of this. Like whenever you make a decision, it's more like you're jumping up here to do the next part of the puzzle. You know, it's like there's stiff movements, but it's because it's a puzzle game. And I think the puzzles, you know, I'm not a big puzzle guy, but I think the puzzles have, struck a really good balance between they keep like they're adding on to each other and they're becoming more interesting, but it's never more than a few steps. So it's not something that I'm like completely bashing my head against the wall. So even for someone like me, who's not really into puzzle games, like I have enjoyed it. I don't think it's like the craziest thing in the world, but it's like, you know, they're fun. They've been like thought-provoking puzzles. But the biggest draw of this game is the story, which the story of this game, you are basically in this, it's a very much like a Spirited Away type world where basically all like forgotten items that like people like forget about go into, like the start of the game, it has like the real world, and this guy is like, he has one sock and he's like, where did my other sock go? And his other sock you see is like underneath his bed, and he tries to reach, he can't find it. He's like, all right, whatever, and leaves. And then the like sock falls through the floor, and it like falls down and it falls into this factory with like a bunch of other items, and it like goes through this conveyor belt, and there's like other items, all the items can talk and everything, and they like say, okay, hey, welcome to whatever the land is called. This is gonna be your job. Go do that. You're gonna be like in this factory working or whatever. And then it like zooms out and does all these other, and it's like, yeah, it's like lamps, refrigerators, all like everyone is like a random object, and they all live in the city. And they're all called Forgotlings. It's again very Miyazaki. So it seems like very whimsical and childlike, but the person you're playing is like a human, and you are the enforcer. You're the person who's like kind of keeping everyone in line, and it's very much a kind of structured, like you have to show your ID card to make sure you're like registered and do all this, and like you're kind of overseeing all these people. And there's like, they're all trying to, there's this thing called the ether bridge there's like this, your boss above you that's apparently also like seems like a father figure for your person or whatever. Like you're the only two humans, and you kind of roll over everyone else, and you're trying to get across this, you're building this ether bridge that's supposed to get you back to the real world, basically. So all the objects and everything want to get back to their humans that forgot them. So that's the goal. And so you like everyone's like, yeah, we want to get back to our owners and everything. But then as you go through the game, you start to realize there is like a rebel contingency of people that's like, we don't want to go back. Like, we were forgotten. That's what we were forgotten, and we can be who we want to be in this world. We don't want to go back to the real world and do this. But then you see other forgotlings that like, no, I want to go back. I hate it here. So it's like this cool back and forth. But like as you're going through, there's like a lot of really. Sometimes it's not like the most subtle thing, but there's like cool analogies for like political dissent and things like that. Like there's metaphors for that in here because you see the like rebels fighting against them. You talk to a lot of forgotlings that like when you approach them, they're like, oh yes, enforcer, hello ma'am. But you start to learn that like some of them secretly are rebels, and you like are trying to deduce who's telling you the truth and who's not. And the game like asks you to make choices a lot of times. And like early on, one of the rebels like broke in, and like you found out he was a rebel, and then the game just was just sitting there, and it was like you have this ability, you distill them, which basically seems like you kill them. You like suck them into this thing on your arm, like maybe they'll end up being alive at some point. But so I was like, okay, I have to kill him. It's a video game. So I killed him, and then the game said, this could have played out differently if you didn't have to kill him. I'm like, oh, okay, it's that kind of game. All right. And it's proceeded to have quite a few choices like that. And for a game that seemed like so like a kid's game, there's been multiple times I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do here.
So does it seem like those choices are kind of making an impact on the overall?
Yes, I don't think it's going to be like just like a tangled web of like so many different ways you can do it. But I have already gotten to the point where the choices I made were referenced in a pretty big way.
Okay.
So like I think it will have an impact, and I think there's enough choices where like there has to be at least two different endings. I think to this there has to be. And there was one like really big decision that I made that it's one of those that I think like there is an obvious path that most people are going to go. There's an obvious good and bad path, and you're not going to go the bad path. I'll watch the bad path on YouTube, like, so it's pretty obvious, but it's still really well told. And that voice acting is really, really good in this. It seriously just sounds like a Miyazaki movie. Everyone has like these very like distinct, cool British accents. There's a lot of Cockney British accents in here, and it just fits so well. And they did such a good job of like, what would a talking like shoe sound like? And he's like this raspy coal miner person or whatever, is like this banged up shoe. And then there's you run into like a police chief, and he's like Chief Magnum, and he's a pistol. It's like he's like a walking pistol or whatever. It's like I don't know, it's really cool. They have a lot of cute things like that. You like run into like a hippie rug person. Like it's like a hippie rug that could talk, and they're like high out of their minds. Like it's really, really good.
I wonder if they go back to like they're still sentient. They're like, "Hi, master."
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how it's gonna work. And there's been some like really cool revelations that just happened in here. Just overall, this is one of my favorite stories I've played in a while, and I just really was not expecting it. It's cool, dope, and I don't know. This would go pretty high in my 2018 list, probably, at least so far. And I highly recommend people try it out. It's kind of a shame that I just had never even heard of it.
I have to cop it on that Steam sale.
Like $8, and it's so worth it.
Be looking at that sale tonight.
Yep. It's real good. It's gonna be now. I'll have to remember that I played it this year, so it can go on my best old game at the end of this year.
Well, Dar, it's not an old game. Little Nightmares 2, baby.
It's not. It's a game that maybe we didn't know as much as we thought we did.
Yeah, this isn't necessarily us talking about the game because I haven't played too much of it. We're going to talk about our little experience with it so far. So Darby and I, this game, we had seen trailers for this game and everything. Darby and I said, like, yeah, we're going to play this game together. It's going to be great. We start the game. You play as one character. Only one character's there, mono. And it's like, okay, this happens. You start used to do one game. We'll get the second character later.
Yeah, I was sitting there with my controller. I'm like, okay, I'll go get in this.
Okay, taking a little bit. I'm walking through the forest, blah, blah, blah. Get into a house. Like, okay. See a little kid, who I guess is 6, maybe. I don't know. Still don't know yet.
Yeah.
The little person with the yellow jacket up there.
Fair.
For video listeners, watchers, whatever. It's like, okay. Got them. I wasn't sure if we're 6 or not, so I was like, okay, maybe this is someone who's walking around with those. Maybe it's not time for you to control them.
This was where I was like, oh, why? I still can't control them. Are we doing something wrong?
Yeah, we see no option. It's like, okay, I'm doing some stuff with them, and then it's becoming apparently obvious, like, okay, they're helping me, so you think this would be stuff. Like, Darby goes and looks it up on the internet, and it's like, yeah, when do I start? It's like, he's like, apparently this game is not co-op.
It's like, Jeff, this is a single-player game. This is one player.
Well, Darby and I have been going, like, talking the last, like, year. This thing was co-op, and it apparently not. And we weren't apparently the only ones, because we're looking up. Everyone and their mother had an article like, is Little Nightmares 2 co-op? And just so you know, websites, when you ask that, we know the answer.
Yeah, the fact that you wrote that article. Yeah, like, this has to be, like, the most wrong we've been about a game that we've actually talked about a lot. Like, seen trailers of a lot and, like, did all this. Like you said, I'm sure there was a lot of experiences like that night where people are like, "Oh, let's play this together," because it does just kind of seem like when you look at the trailer, it's like, okay, there's 2 people and they're doing platforming things together. It's like, it just made sense.
Part of the confusion was they were apparently planning on or was thinking about it at some point, but to help control the pacing better, they decided against it.
Yeah, but that was just really wild because we have been talking about that for a long time. Yep. We just did our 2021 anticipated. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited to go play that with you.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I still should play it, but I should just play the first one now at this point.
Yeah.
So that was bizarre. That was a crazy experience.
Yep. So hopefully maybe next week or whatever, I'll have actual Little Nightmares 2 impressions. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So public service announcement to everyone. It's one player.
Yep.
You're not playing that with anyone else.
But Darby, can you play co-op in Ring Fit Adventure?
Yeah, we're right back around to me. We can, in the sense that I can smoke everyone else's high scores.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, I got fit, Jeff. I am now... I have transcended. You were looking at fit, Darby.
Oh.
I can now lift a car.
Why is it your hair on fire?
Well, you gotta give it time.
Okay.
I played Ring Fit Adventure yesterday because it's been raining freaking nonstop for 48 hours here in Columbia, South Carolina. It just will not freaking stop. So I can't go outside and do exercise like I normally do, and I've had no work and nothing to do, so I was just going crazy. I just needed to do something. And I just thought, like, and I've played Beat Saber to death. And Beat Saber, it's like, you get your heart rate pumping, but it's not really a workout, really. So I'm like, yeah, I'll try Ring Fit, and I just played like the first few missions up until the boss fight thing that you get in the first one, and like, yeah, I'm digging this. It's obviously it's like very like cute, right? It's very, you have your like workout demon. So you have super buff ripped demon wearing like a sports thing, and he's like flexing all the time, and it's like, oh God, we got to get to him. He's probably
he's hot.
He's probably working out right now. But I was just pleasantly surprised by how much like I actually worked up a sweat, and there was, when I got done with it, there was like, okay, there were some muscles that I worked that I had not worked before. I was like, for like a dumb little RPG within a workout game, it's a very interesting concept. But it's probably a way that will keep more people's, or at least more people like us's attention than like a Wii Fit. would or did.
No, people are definitely liking it, obviously, because he's selling out everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's going to probably pass 10 million sales soon.
I can see it, and I might do it every now and then because even when I woke up this morning, my legs were kind of sore. I'm like, okay, damn, it's I just haven't worked these muscles in a long time, and I should. So I definitely see it. I'm wondering when you get to the end of the story mode, will there be enough stuff to make you, because this is not going to be a game that you want to just get to the end of and be like, all right, I'm done being active. It's you'd like there to be something for you to keep coming back to, which I know there's the mini games and everything, but I'll just be interested to see if I do stick with this.
Apparently it takes a while to get to the end of that game.
That's good. That's a very good thing for those. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Definitely not one you're gonna be playing 10 hours a day or something.
No, when I got to the end of that, when I got to that boss, I was like, yeah, I can't go anymore. I'm tired. No. It's I got to the end. I felt like I had done something. I did the heart rate and was like, yep, heart rate's really far up. Yep. It's good. Yeah. So I recommend it for anyone else too. I mean, I know I'm very late to the party on this, but I think it's
Ring Fit Adventurer for Smash.
It's a very fun way to do an exercise game, I think.
Yes. Yeah, it's just evolution of Wii Fit.
But yeah, obviously, very different presentation, and I think will be more. Yeah. Wii Fit got all the soccer moms in there, but I don't think anybody we follow was doing Wii Fit, whereas a lot of people we follow are doing Ring Fit because it's, it's dumb. It's really dumb with the you're shooting things, but it's fun. It's fun. It's cool.
Feel that burn.
Yep.
But Darby, did you feel the burn playing Skullgirls?
Talking a lot in this early thing. So also in the Steam sale, I picked up Skullgirls because I had been vaguely interested in Skullgirls for a long time. I know people say it's a pretty good fighting game, and I think this one was literally $2.
Nice.
So it was all right, screw it, I'll get it. So I picked up Skullgirls. I think I got the one with all the DLC characters because it's maybe it was $5. Anime.
This is 59 cents, Darby.
Have you seen The Last of Waifus? Is another there's another game I've been advertised on Steam. Yeah, so I got Skullgirls. I played the tutorial thing to learn how to do it, and then played a few bot matches, and it's a pretty fun game. I think it's a simple enough fighting game where I feel like I could just by playing it for an hour, I got the gist of it, of how to do my super moves, how to do everything else. But obviously, there's so much there you would have to learn to master, and I was struggling against some of the computers, but I got better towards the end. It's really cool in the sense that you can play it with 1, 2, or 3 players on your team.
Okay.
You can choose, you're not locked in one, but I was doing 3 on 3 most of the time, and I think it's really easy to. There's just 2 different buttons you can use to send your other 2 characters in for combo attacks. And in this game versus fighters and everything, I just found it a lot easier to chain things together with them. I learned how I could just put them up in the air, and then this other person that come and they do one. It was really cool to it was easy to chain things together in the game. So I kind of I liked the somewhat more simple nature of it in comparison to a Street Fighter or fighters or even Mortal Kombat and everything like that. I think y'all would enjoy it too.
I'm sure I would.
And the art's really cool. I mean, it's very over the top, crazy characters, but they range from cute to just weird and crazy and funny.
Let's go.
It's really good art in that game. I don't know. I know nothing about how the story mode is, and there's an arcade mode. I haven't done any of that yet. I just did a tutorial and then some CPU matches because I've been mostly playing Forgotten Anne, but. It's a cool game. Oh, and the music is really, really cool in this game. It has jazz, saxophone type thing. It has this noir, almost the menu screens, a noir crime thing. It's an interesting style. I don't even know. Is this the only Skullgirls game? Because I got it was Skullgirls Second Encore, which I think is just the re-release of. Yeah,
I believe that is correct.
Yeah. Okay, I know this game. I think this game originally came out on the PS3, right?
Came out in 2012.
Yep. Show did.
Forever ago.
Show did. yeah, it's I dug it, and I think Jacob played it a little bit last year too. So it's a cool game. I was fond of it.
Cool.
Always good to have another fighting game.
Indeed. Let's see. I need to get back and playing some more than them fighting herds.
Yeah, I did think as I was playing it, I was thinking like we need to play. It reminds me a lot of that because the
I think maybe some of the same people involved or inspired or something like that.
I could easily see it. It plays a decent bit like that, and the sprites are like similar size, and it's like yeah.
Probably don't get them fighting herds is that want to do that story mode, and that was fun. It's just crazy different.
Yeah. I as I was playing this, I was like, yeah, me and you should play some more. I'm down to just have a fighting game night, and maybe we can add Skullgirls onto the rotation. It being on my PC makes it a little harder, but
yeah, we get into that Rivals Ether and play all those crazy characters.
Yes,
and hopefully no more of them drop the N-word. Too many of them did that. By that I mean at least one did it. That's too many.
That is way too many. Yeah, when you have no filters on your...
That was very unfortunate. I guess story time, I guess, for the... when we did our Halloween stream, we were streaming that a little at the beginning. The way Daria and I had the setup at the time, Daria and I couldn't really hear it crazy well. And apparently, I think it was like a Little Mac character I had or something. Dropped it, and Alex was like, he just said the N-word. I'm like, well, I'm getting out of this match.
Well,
I even saw Alex like, yeah, do that.
Well, I'm going to destroy my computer.
Yep. I don't know how to delete individual characters.
Just tape it onto your computer. Never pick Little.
Yeah, I know there's like another one too. At least I completely forgot who it was, so that's unfortunate. Okay. Ready for some news, Darby?
I am ready for some news.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Well, Darby, it finally happened. We finally got a release date for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
And we also learned that June constitutes launch window.
Yes. Everyone knows the 7th month is in the launch window.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if someone said launch window and then it comes out the following fall. All right. It's within a year. Mm-hmm. Is it a year? Is that launch window? It's a big old window.
I saw someone say, I don't know if the joke or not. Like, launch window is as long as it takes for the console to be readily available.
That's gonna be a while then, probably.
Strap in everything's on the launch window.
Everything.
So yeah, Ratchet and Clank is coming out June 11th, and they are iterating. It is a PS5 exclusive. I think it's safe to say at this point that is not changing. No. Now that pre-order is for this game.
Yeah. That would be a pretty big shot.
Yep.
I was obviously hoping for sooner, but this is what I was expecting at this point was around the June-ish.
Yeah, because the morning of that, the game was rated in Taiwan, or people noticed it anyway. It's like, that's usually like, okay, yeah, we're going to probably be hearing about this pretty soon. And people start pointing out, well, June looked the most obvious because Returnal's at late April, and then while they aren't Sony published games, they are Sony backed games, or as far as marketing. Deathloop and Resident Evil are in May.
Yeah,
probably want to have them step on their toes too much.
The fact that we hadn't heard the date yet, I was like, I wasn't expecting it before those games, so it was like, yeah, probably something midsummer-ish is what we're heading for. And that is exactly what we got, but that's still fine. Especially that gives me a little more time to hopefully be able to lock down the PS5.
Now that it's the days, like now for you, it's like if you can get a PS5 now, it's like pull that trigger.
Yes, yeah. Now that is the goal line. That is when I want to have it by.
Yeah. And now it's kind of like, well, my gaming schedule for new games is pretty set through June. So I got at least one big game every month from here on out.
That you do. Yes, you do.
So.
Also, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of here. We just got some splash art and a date. But I do think that splash art was pretty dope. I think that is a really, really cool cover. And the fact that it has Ratchet and the new Lombax in equal sides, like half and half on the screen, makes me think we assumed as much, but she's pretty important. It seems like she's very important to the thing.
And they kind of had her name in the blog post.
I did see people say, all right, so go ahead and say what is happening.
I can pull it up and just read it, just in case people
have theories that I think sound
let me try this.
very plausible.
Where is it? There it is. Okay, so here it is. In the blog post, and yes, we know you are asking for the new Lombax's name. It's not fair that we put her in the artwork and aren't telling you yet. Hang in there, you'll be feeling rosy soon.
People have been saying Rosie the Riveter. It could be her name could be Rivet to match Ratchet, being like a tool thing. I think that sounds pretty I'm gonna put my plant my flag in that.
Yeah. I agree with that. I saw other people talk about that too. Yeah, because that makes you think Rose or Rosie or something like that just from that.
That's too easy.
That's too easy, and that makes sense thematically.
yeah. So I'm gonna guess Rivet as well.
Yep.
Rivet and Ratchet.
Yep. I'm excited for this game.
And then when it actually comes out, it's called Rivet, Ratchet and Clank.
So, we don't have much more to talk about as far as this game goes, but we can talk about the other Sony games and games, this kind of affects. Well, I do want to mention this. What do you think the odds are Deathloop being delayed?
It's already been delayed at least once, right?
Yes.
It might have been twice. I can't remember.
The only reason I think there's a chance is because I think they announced that date back in November-ish or something. And I just don't trust the dates nowadays when they're announced that far in advance.
Was it launched? Was it set out right now?
May, I don't know, 18th or something. Something like that.
Yeah, definitely a chance. I'll say that I think they'll hit it, but I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked.
Well, the main ones to think about is how do we think this potentially affects Horizon, God of War? How if this influence where we think I'm not asking that of I think we both agree Horizon coming out this year.
Yes. But from everything we've heard, it sounds like Horizon this fall. So I don't really think this impacts it because I think Horizon was already planned to be far enough away from this to where I don't think this changes where I think Horizon was going to be. I was already thinking August at the earliest for Horizon. Yeah. It's not what I was thinking last year, but just from what rumblings have been and the fact that we haven't heard anything. This is another one. This is another line in the sand where it's it's obviously not going to be before this. It's obviously going to be after June at the earliest.
So I think it's safe to say for Horizon, it will be. I imagine Sony will do some kind of show around June-ish.
Yeah,
maybe even they've done state of plays in May, I believe, the last couple of years as well. Maybe that's when they at least do something for Horizon before going into the mega state of play they probably will do during the summer.
Yeah, I think the internal plan right now is probably August, Horizon in August, September time frame, and God of War in November is probably currently the goal, what they're shooting for. I think God of War is very likely to be delayed into the following year. But I think
the thing is right now, God of War could be delayed if Horizon does. Just because they may not want those two too close together.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Race those babies out. Mm-hmm. And one of those games locked in for you.
Yes, it is. But you gotta take some swings, Jeffrey.
Indeed.
But boy, am I ready for Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah,
so happy that game exists. I did not think we were going to get another Ratchet game after Spider-Man took off. I was not expecting that.
Well, it is so wild about how much it feels more like a big backing it's getting from Sony compared to it hasn't forever. They seem to be considering it's a marquee game.
It was good timing. The PS5. I wonder which came first. Was we're gonna do a Ratchet game. Hey, let's make that a PS5 showpiece, or was it I wonder when that happened in the process.
I imagine they were planning on making a new Ratchet game because the 2016 one did well enough, so it makes sense that they would try again. And they had all these crazy ideas for it, and then they were seeing the potential of the PS5 hardware, and they're like, okay, well, let's put these ideas into action.
It is just funny that if you went to someone, you're like, hey, so there's going to be a Spider-Man game and a Ratchet and Clank game coming out around the launch of the PS5. Which one of those is going to be the next gen, showing off the hardware crazy specs, and which one's going to be the cross-gen, like, lesser game, like lesser on a technical level game? You would absolutely switch those two, you'd say.
Well, throw Horizon in that compared to Ratchet. You would think Ratchet would have been the cross.
Right, Horizon's also going to be cross-gen. Crossplay. Yeah, you would not expect out of all of these for... I mean, God of War might even be crossplay. I mean, the Ratchet could be the only one, or cross-gen,
Yeah. We'll see.
I like it.
Something we'll also see, the future of Anthem. Or its lack thereof. All right, there. Let's read this little bit from Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. Haven't read that too much so far.
Still not used to it.
Yep. Electronic Arts Incorporated will hold a meeting this week to determine whether it will continue trying to create a new version of the failed online game Anthem, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. Anthem, a multiplayer game by the EA-owned developer BioWare, launched in February 2018 to poor reviews. Following months, BioWare put together a small team to overhaul the game. Executive producer Christian Daly wrote 3 blog posts last year outlining some of the big changes planned. But in December, Daly left the Anthem team as part of BioWare's management shakeup, leaving the project's fate in question. This week, EA executives will review the latest version of Anthem next and decide whether to expand the team or abandon the project, said the people who asked not to be named, discussing private information. The Anthem next team includes about 30 people, BioWare said last year. People familiar with the project said it will need to expand to at least triple that in order to produce new content and continue attempting to overhaul the game. EA has not yet indicated whether it's willing to commit that kind of budget to revive a maligned game.
What you think, Jeff? What side of the coin are we going to land on for Anthem's future?
I'm going to go with they may kill it and put all their eggs in the Mass Effect basket. Because I think this, you could argue this is easily misguided. I think they're looking at the hype for the Mass Effect trilogy coming out and like, okay, this might fail easily. This may be no coming back for Anthem. Other games have done it, but we're at the point now where there's just too many of these games that people may not want to go back to this. Yeah. And everyone's hype for Mass Effect, or people kind of comparing it like the hype for a new game, which I honestly don't get, but power to those people. But they'll look at that and they already announced the next Mass Effect's like, okay, let's just put all that, and Dragon Age, obviously, put that manpower into those 2 projects. I
agree. I think it's a very short-sighted. I mean, not that I think that you should dump a bunch of resources into Anthem, because I also don't think that's maybe not a great idea either. But I think you're right. I think they're going to be short-sighted in the sense that they're like, look, we're getting a bunch of hits right now on Google and everything. Like everyone's writing articles about us and talking about us on Twitter because of Mass Effect. When it's like. And even people online are like, or fucking, what's their freaking name? BioWare is back, baby, with this. It's like, okay, they're porting 3 games. It's like, yes, they rezzed them up.
They seem to be good ports.
They literally did the same thing that like every other developer has been doing for their old games, and like up-rezzing their games and putting them out in the current.
In fact, we're wrong at the very least. FinChat being available from the beginning is cool.
Yes,
but that's big. Yeah. But besides that, yeah.
I mean, like, yes, they are good ports, and it's perfectly fine to be excited about those. But like, this is not really anything BioWare did in the modern day. You know what I mean? This is not like they still haven't released a good new game in a long, long time. It's like, and this doesn't really change that. That's still like just they need this right now. This is good timing.
Yeah.
For this, but this is also a trilogy that we expected to be ported to modern consoles 4 years ago. It's like this is kind of already like a little later than we expected for this. But yeah, I do think they'll probably value that too much, and they'll probably make a rash decision to be like, all right, everything over there, whatever. But that being said, I do think the Anthem rebuild would cost so much money to do, and even if Anthem came back around to being a good quality game, I do think its reputation is just going to... Yeah. There's going to be a ceiling, I think, of how many people you're going to be able to get back in on that game, because to some point the story has been written on it. And I mean, I bet you, even if you, not that they're comparable games really, but like I bet you if you look at No Man's Sky, even with its crazy big rebuild, which has been very impressive, I doubt its player base is like huge or as big as they like maybe were expecting with all the hype leading into that, because to some degree it's kind of an old game. I mean, I hate but that's just how people are. That's just how people will view this, and they'll view Anthem as like, you know, oh, okay, it's better now, whatever. I already tried that before and I didn't like it, so that's like old news. And I think the amount of resources you would have to put into Anthem to fix it, I think the chances of you like earning that back or earning much of a profit off of that would probably be pretty slim, I think. So I think killing it would probably be the smarter choice to it. I think that is what will probably happen. It's just going to be like, I don't know, BioWare's in a weird situation right now.
Yep.
And they've been... It's almost like it's even worse than Bethesda, because at least Bethesda has still had some cash cows and put out stuff that people like, even if it didn't sell super well. BioWare's just kind of had neither. They've had neither the critical hit or the commercial hit in a long time.
Yeah. Dragon Age is a weird one. Even that's been 7 years at this point.
I bet say that's right. Even Inquisition's a pretty old game at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. They're they're kind of coasting by on their name at this point.
Oh, and the kind of sucky thing for them is I think even Mass Effect's going to be a really long ways away. So I guess the next thing is going to be Dragon Age, which we still have only seen like artwork for. So who knows?
BioWare is an interesting studio, as some, neither of us are necessarily fans of their work.
Yeah.
But just kind of looking from the outside and just like the amount of disappointment people have had for the last however many years, but still how excited they get just for anything.
Yeah. Again, I mean, Mass Effect is huge. I mean, there's a lot of people. Mass Effect's one of those like Skyrim that a lot of people who don't play games love Mass Effect. So it's a really big name that has been not underutilized in the last like 7 years or so.
Is there anyone talking about the CD Projekt Red? I know it's your favorite
Speaking of another name that's been drugged through the mud over and over again.
Yep. This comes from John Porter from The Verge. On Tuesday, CD Projekt Red disclosed it had been the victim of a ransomware attack in which the hackers had collected certain data from the company. It posted a ransom note from the hackers in which they claimed to have access to source code from the studio's most popular games, as well as internal legal, HR, and financial documents. CD Projekt Red said it would not give in to the demands or negotiate with the hackers, even if that meant the stolen data would begin circulating online. Hackers have reportedly sold the game source code and other information stolen from the studio. Cybersecurity firm Kela released screenshots of a post on the hacking forum Exploit allegedly posted by the attackers, saying that they've received an offer for the data from the outside the forum. They added that they ended the auction at the request of the buyer. Cybersecurity Twitter account VX Underground subsequently confirmed that the auction had closed.
So Jeff, I'm a big dum-dum.
Yes.
Just a big old idiot.
The biggest I know.
Just no brain up there. Yeah. It's just hollow. It's just empty up there. Why would people necessarily want to pay a bunch of money for a source code of a game? Like, what are you getting out of that exactly? I've just tried to think of like what would the shady underground hacker auction, like what. I get the financial information. I get that. You get people's credit card. You get whatever the hell else. But like, what exactly do you get out of the source code? I didn't know if you had any more insight. I was just thinking.
I'm a big dum-dum too.
Someone paid a bunch of money for it. Something.
I was a computer science major for 2 seconds, but I was too stupid to make it. So
fair. Yeah, I would be too. I wouldn't even try that. I do like the idea of underground cyber hacker auction. Like that sounds like some weird 007 thing or something where it's like in reality it's probably a bunch of people in sweatpants, so like at their houses on their computers. But
next up we have Panam's naked model.
Oh shit.
Starring the bid at $50 million.
Immediately. think about all the VR porn they can make.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. This is, I mean, don't have a lot to add, but it's just, I mean, Projekt Red, I think they've had like hack things before. I mean, it was usually for like leaking parts of the game early or whatever, and they like did the same thing they did here, where they said like, we're not going to
negotiate with terrorists.
We're not negotiating with terrorists and everything, which, you know, is fair and everything. Obviously, if people's financial stuff is leaked, that's like a lot more important than source code.
Yeah.
You know, which it did say. I guess we don't know the extent of that.
I guess also think CD Projekt Red put out a statement saying for old employees they're fine or something, because obviously people who don't work there are like,
yeah.
And obviously people working there would also be like, everyone's like,
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I mean, I hope that I hate it for honestly everyone who works at that company, because their life has kind of been hell recently.
And then they have this to worry about.
And even this was kind of like the hacker group kind of talk. Like, I think this was partially because of how much scrutiny has been on CD Projekt Red that they went for this. So it's just can't catch a damn break.
Nope. You know who also can't catch a break? Us gamers.
You know, when will someone think about us gamers? You know.
Yep.
Won't someone think about the gamers?
Think about the gamers. This comes from John Ryan from IGN. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, publishers of Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and its 2017 sequel Shadow of War, both developed by Monolith Entertainment, we got to get as many companies names as we can in there, have finally managed to secure a patent for the franchise's signature Nemesis system. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office released an issue notice on February 3rd, 2021, stating that the patent would go into effect on February 23rd of this year. Warner Brothers has the option to maintain the patent through 2035, providing they keep up with the necessary fees. While the language in the application is fairly obtuse, as most patent claims tend to be, the short version is that the patent covers a system featuring procedurally generated NPCs that exist in a hierarchy, interact with, and will remember the actions of players, have their appearance and behavior altered by players, and whose place in that hierarchy can change and affect the position of other NPCs in said hierarchy. And yes, that's the simplified version.
This is dumb, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's real dumb. I don't like me being able to patent a gameplay thing that's that vague. I mean, I know that everything you read was like a lot of like words, but the overall thing, like just having like enemies that remember you and there's a hierarchy that you can go up or whatever, that shouldn't be something you can own. It's like that's something that can absolutely be used in other things, and that's like part of video games. It's part of movies. It's part of art in general. Is that like the art you create, like you see a bunch of other art that you love, and it influences you as a person, you as a creator to make other things.
Yeah, no, it's funny they do this, and then like the rest of the game is just straight up Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, Shadow of War is like almost it's like a clone of a lot of other games other than the Nemesis system. Yeah. The Nemesis system is kind of their one thing that sets it apart, and it's just a very dangerous precedent.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like we've always had this question since Shadow of Mordor came out. It's like, why aren't more people using this system or trying to work on it? It's kind of like, okay, maybe they're you know, it was getting around, or this might have been older information. I don't know. No. That WB was looking into this patent, and they were like, some studios were like, okay, we don't want to deal with this.
We don't want to be 3 years into our project and then get sued.
Sued into oblivion.
Which I wonder, like, is this, I mean, the fact that it's being written about so much maybe makes me think, like, I was wondering, is this something that, like, every video game company on Earth tries this? Like, they make a game and they try to patent. Like, has Nintendo tried to patent a Mario jump or like some sort of power-up thing or whatever?
Apparently, Nintendo has a patent for some perfect dark mechanic.
Yeah, I wonder if I wonder if this is one of these things that every time it's like, we'll just try. We're not gonna get it, but just try to patent it. And this is like, oh shit, we actually got it. Oh god, I don't know. But either way, like, can you imagine if PUBG had patented battle royales? Fortnite would never exist, and PUBG wasn't even the original one. I think it was like DayZ and stuff, or like some Arma mod. It was something before PUBG was the Arma. I don't know. The point is, there was
all I know is for the legal things, there's a chance that PUBG could have gotten it because they're big and had money.
just stupid. It's not like this is not like an invention you made or like what like a thing. It's like this is just it's just a style of thing or whatever. Or if someone had patented fighting games back in the day, it's like you get to a scary future when it's like
imagine if someone patented towers.
There would be a lot. We wouldn't have video game industry. We would like the whole thing would come crashing down.
Yeah. That is like the Ubisoft towers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like half the video game industry would shut down. It'd be a bleak area.
I mean, there's nothing good for us. This is just kind of like, now probably. I mean, there are probably ways to get around it. But it's probably a lot more of a hassle than I think. Understandably, some studios will want to.
Yeah, a lot of them you just be like, well, we just won't even bother. We won't try. We'll just make something.
We don't
else.
want to do a bunch of this shit to have to change a million times so it doesn't fall into this.
It's very annoying, and it's like not that it would make it. This is like there's no way this could be good for anyone other than WB.
Yeah,
but it's like it's also you patent this, you make it so no one else can use this. And you've used it for 2 games. 2 games total. Yep. It's like,
I'm surprised it hasn't been used in a Batman game.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I guess it hasn't really been much since then.
There already had been,
But it makes sense in a Batman game.
It would. It's just dumb. I just
100%.
I really hope that this is something that doesn't become a trend. But the thing is, if it can happen once, it can happen again. And I don't think that was like... That's pretty broad what you just read, and for that to be allowed is concerning because like if it was like a very specific thing, it would still kind of suck, but it'd be like, all right, well, whatever, you kind of whatever. But this is like you could absolutely have a game that's very different than Shadow of War, but would still fall under that description,
Yeah, I can see a version like The Last of Us that have something like the Nemesis system.
Yeah,
but now
couldn't because like just that description, you could have a lot of different game genres that has a mechanic that could fall under those words. Yeah. It's like it's a pretty broad statement overall. So, don't like it. Nerds at Large does not like that.
But Derby, what we do like?
Oh, love it.
Post Malone being at a Pokemon concert.
Who had that on their bingo card? Anyone?
No. Jimmy in the back?
No. He had Post Malone, but then
just Post Malone in general.
He actually had a Post Malone Yu-Gi-Oh concert. That's what he had on his. Yeah.
I personally had Ariana Grande at a Digimon concert.
Now, Ariana Grande was in Final Fantasy, so it's not completely out there. Oh, possibly it would not be her first JRPG appearance.
Digimon can't afford her.
No, they can't. They absolutely can't.
I love you, Digimon. But they're doing. I'm not really sure. I think it's like a concert and go or some shit. I don't know. Doing something on Pokemon Day, which is February 27th.
Did you see the trailer thing?
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Which is that's a Saturday. I'm curious because and this part will go off from here, other than this whole weird thing. That's so random. But okay.
I think Post Malone's like a nerd. I think he's into a lot of video game stuff, so maybe that's just where, but it still like seems bizarre. But
it's less random for him wanting to do it and more random from the Pokemon company being like, sure.
Right, yes.
But we got Pokemon Days coming up, and the Pokemon company themselves are pretty much hinting at, hey, we're gonna have announcements like at it or surrounding it or whatever. Mm-hmm. To be fair, it's going to be. They've said it's pretty much going to do the widespread of Pokemon stuff. So it's going to be more than just video games, or probably primarily.
And they're finally gonna show off the program where they can now scientifically re-engineer DNA so that you can become a Pokemon.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, the technology is finally here. We're ready.
Yep. They went straight from workable 3D camera to changing our DNA.
It's the natural progression. I mean, let's go. Make me a Snorlax. I just want to sleep.
Yep. Be able to eat and sleep all day.
All day. That sounds fantastic.
And shoot hyper beams.
Jeff, those are just the 3 things that I want in my life, and I can die happy. I'll be fine.
Okay. So
what do you think is going to happen on this day?
I don't know if it'll happen on this day because it's a Saturday, so they might have had like some of the announcements on there.
Is this normally a multi-day thing?
I'm not sure. I think they're going a little more out this one since it's the 25th anniversary. They're doing a little more for it, which makes sense.
Gotcha.
I think what might happen is we do get like a Pokemon Direct, wherever they call it, like a couple days before it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's when we get some of the game stuff we want to talk about, because they have Pokemon Snap coming out. We got the date for that, but they haven't shown us too much. They can show us another little trailer. Not too much, because that's a game they don't need to show us too much of.
Yeah.
More than they have. Obviously, Pokemon Unite, it's just more and more stuff showing for that. That's like, okay, we're getting information of that soon, or we should, hopefully outside of China.
They already been playing the game. And
they've been playing a lot of the game, and that's where we've gotten all our information from. And I've only gotten it because I'm following one certain Twitter user, and I'm just relaying that information to you and Alex.
Yep.
And about all that crazy shit. There's like people will probably see that roster and like, what? This is crazy. He's like, man, I've known this for months.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And with costumes on it, like, no one knows what's going on with that game.
It's a complete blind spot for a lot of you.
Yeah. I think we'll get the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remake.
They get the full blowout of that.
Yeah, or at least the first trailer showing off some stuff. And that, I don't know how much they will show. Probably not too much. It's a weird thing, because I can't remember what they did for the last remake announcements. I don't think I was following stuff as much then. So I'm curious how they do that, because normally...
Well, Let's Go was the last remake announcement, Jeff.
I try to forget about that. But yeah. Normally when they announce the game, it's like, okay, yeah, that's what the gen looks like. Maybe a new Pokemon too, and show the starters, and that's it. Obviously with this, we know all the Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, okay, this is what it looks like. You'll probably use like or Sword and Shield kind of engine. This is what the region looks like. Here are the Pokemon. Woo. Maybe show off.
Will there be a wild area in this remake?
So, I think potentially. The problem is sometimes these remakes, they like to do kind of a one-to-one thing. More than they should, for sure. Yeah. I think there's a chance. Because they like to use the gimmicks or whatever stuff from the mainline, like new generation, because it's technically going to be a Generation 8 game. And they like to kind of carry over that stuff. So they might carry that over, might carry over Dynamax and Gigantamax, but they kind of made a big deal about it being a Galar thing. Where in the other games, like, this was kind of discovered in this region, but it's not like just necessarily that's like that specific. Like, they always go on to whatever the energy in Galar makes this possible. Like, pretty much. So they could retcon that shit, and I'll be like, okay, sure, whatever.
You'll never see this again.
So I think they need some kind of hook other than just this is how it is, because they've done that in the other ones.
Well, it's Pokemon. They don't need anything.
They don't need to do anything. That's true. You're right. Yeah. So yeah, I want them to. I remember the design for Gen 4 kind of being less handholdy. I think there was definitely a lot of... I think the reaction to Gen 4 and kind of Gen 5 combined is what made Pokemon as handholdy as it kind of got. And kind of just...
This was the hardest core of the Pokemon?
Yeah, I remember at the time, and...
Like, all the Pokemons, like, smoked cigarettes and had, like, tattoos and listened to metal and shit?
Yes,
like,
yes,
nice.
100%.
Okay, cool.
But people kind of reminding, like, yeah, people got lost a lot in this world because it wasn't just a straight line and that kind of shit. Like, more chance of that happening. A little more obtuse, so...
Good. Make the kids get lost. They gotta learn.
Yeah, so... Either way, I'm excited for it. Gen 4 is one I kind of remember one of the gens I kind of remember the least about, honestly. So going through that with you doing a Nuzlocke will be fun.
And we got Penguin.
Yeah, we got a Penguin. We got our starter picked out. We're getting Piplup up 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right. Yep. And I'll obviously do my own playthrough. Probably go with Turtwig May this time. I don't think I've used Turtwig. Yeah, that's the main thing for games, and then they'll announce about like clothing lines and merchandise, all that kind of shit. Probably some other Mayonnaise spin-off or two. Maybe we'll get Pokken 2 finally. I don't know.
Could have.
I mean, honestly, that's one of those things. Like, it can never happen, and I believe it. But it's also one of those things they can announce at any point.
They could, yeah.
It
was actually made by the Tekken team, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Harada was involved.
Nice. Yeah, it could happen. I'd be there. I'd be there for it, Jeff. Me and you would be the only ones there for it, but we'd be there for it.
There was actually a friend of Resetter, and surprisingly, a lot of people were positive about Pokemon. Like, yeah, Pokemon had a lot of fun. Let's get that sequel.
Nice. Well, maybe.
Believe. Now, Dari, it's time for everyone's favorite segment. Everybody gets a TV show / movie.
Except you. I always feel like you're going to say everyone gets a TV show except you.
Except you. No, Dari, I'm trying to... This is my way of telling you we're getting a Nerds at Large TV show.
We're announcing it? What?
Yep, directed by Zack Snyder.
It has a budget of 5 cents.
Yep, again, directed by Zack Snyder.
It's directed by Zack Snyder.
And written.
I'm glad. If Zack Snyder wants to make a Nerds at Large movie, he can go for it.
Yeah. Also, we're both played by Zack Snyder.
Absolutely, we are. But we'll have to figure out who plays Knack. Let us know. Okay. Let us know who should play Knack. It's very important. Huh?
Holden.
All right, never mind. Don't
let us know. We know that. It's the name that pops in my head.
Don't let us know. We know who plays. Yep. We know who plays Holden.
Okay.
We know who plays Knack. Yeah.
We got a couple big juicy informations here.
Lots of juice.
Yep. First one: Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey from the Game of Thrones and a bunch of other stuff. Cast as Joel and Ellie in the Last of Us HBO show.
Big Game of Thrones representation.
Yep. Not the Game of Thrones actor people wanted / expected for Joel. None of the people are upset with that. Yeah, but I'm bad with names. The guy who plays Jamie is the one people wanted.
Okay, it's like Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Yeah. People want him. I'm like, I see that.
I can see that too. Yeah. I think if he had been announced, everyone would have been like, yep, just as much as this.
Yep.
But gut reaction. What you think?
I'm happy with the Pedro Pascal pick. I think that's really good. And he's a great actor, so I know he'll do a part. Very Bella Ramsey, I'm just not sure about.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat where, I mean, I think neither one of them necessarily look how I immediately see them as Joel and Ellie. I think that could easily be like, you'll get over that and it'll be fine when you see them in action, especially with the makeup and everything else. But yeah, Bella Ramsey, I'm just a little hesitant because she's the one that played Liana Mormont in season 8. And it's like, yes, she was a fantastic character. She was a really fun character, but I think she was a fun character just because of the contrast, like small, like she was like a child acting like an adult and like telling off all these people in there. And it was like very much like a comedy gag in there or whatever that was like, it was amusing and it was fun. It was like a fun thing to write in there. I don't necessarily think that like that role acting wise equates to how people view her for this role. You know what I mean? Like I think people are maybe just based off of that performance, because that performance is the only thing anyone knows her from. Like I know she might be in other things, but like the vast majority of people online, that is the only thing.
Well, I was gonna throw out. I saw people say, "Oh, she's also in this," and she wasn't particularly great. It's a couple things.
This is what I'm saying. Like everyone on Twitter who's reacting about this, they only know about Liana Mormont, and like I think it's easy to get like really excited about that role because it was just like it was fun to like her.
Well, I feel excited because she's snarky in that, and Ellie can be snarky. But the problem is Ellie's a lot more than that.
A lot more than that.
Liana Mormont was just that.
Yes.
And then there's the whole thing of she is a young actress, so she can grow and all that, obviously. And she obviously had the audition, I assume, and all that kind of stuff. So they saw some stuff that we haven't. And this is also the thing of who knows with the accent.
Yeah. I just also worry that like the showrunners also kind of were just in on the hype too much, where they're like, oh, well, this will get a reaction, people or whatever, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that she definitely will be bad or anything. I'm just saying I don't know. I'm a little hesitant about that. And also just like, I think Ellie will be a very difficult role to play. It is a very difficult character to act, I think, because you have to like show she's young and naive in some ways, but she's also like kind of like mature for her age because of the world she's been in. So it's like the combination of being street smart but also rash and everything. And then especially if this is going to Last of Us 2, if they're like carrying that over or whatever and doing that story, I feel like then that role becomes like it's a completely different role in a lot of ways. It's very, very difficult. So just think you need to be very careful about who you cast. So we'll see. Yeah. But Pedro Pascal, he's phenomenal. He's great. Yep. He's a really, really good actor. And we've already seen like
getting those big roles.
Oberyn versus like Mando is about as opposite of like characters, you know. Yeah. Oberyn is like swashbuckler, you know, Oberyn's like full personality and Mando is way more the straight guy. And I think that, he'll be good.
Yep.
Now,
something I know you're excited for, Dirty. Just excited for. It's that Borderlands movie.
Seat.
You know, Kevin Hart's already been announced for it.
Yeah, we're already on cloud 9 right now. Yeah. I know.
But we also
can't get better.
Jamie Lee Curtis as Blonsette, character I know and love.
Yes. I mean, like, hung up on my wall.
Yes.
You can't. And just
for a character Hall of Fame. We're planning on doing.
Yeah. I mean, you already know. It was just so obvious that we just have it. Yeah.
And Jack Black as Claptrap.
Which fair, you know. I saw that headline and I was like, yep.
If you're going for big names, that sounds right.
Sounds right. Make no mistake, it's gonna be freaking terrible. This whole movie is gonna be garbage. It's gonna be a hot mess. But I was like, for this hot mess movie, of course Jack Black would be Claptrap.
They're going for the star power, so they obviously have expectations, at least somewhat.
It could be a Jumanji situation where it's like terrible but does really well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jumanji was terrible. I
think people like Jumanji.
Yeah, like people seem but
like Jumanji knew what it was.
Yes.
I mean, this could potentially be that. I don't know. Just don't expect anything from us when the movie comes out.
Will it sell more than the Monster Hunter movie?
Yes.
I mean, statistically, it almost has to.
I'm going to go with yes.
Especially if it comes out in the non-COVID world.
Yeah.
Post-COVID world.
Partly because I think Borderlands is bigger, and this has more, this can easily have Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black as this funny little robot.
You mean Mila Djokovic doesn't carry as much weight as those? I don't know.
No. I mean, like, just honestly, as far as like comparing this potentially to other video game movies, I'm not saying I expect much from it as far as like quality or sales or anything, but with the stars they are getting for this and just the way Borderlands is, depending on where route they go with this has a chance to get some non-Borderlands fans in on it. Because again, a commercial of saying Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, and again Jack Black as a funny little robot.
Yeah,
that has potential to get something.
It does. I just think it's probably gonna be terrible, just because I think already the Borderlands humor has not aged well at all. I
think it's something that what people consider the best Borderlands like story or is the Telltale thing, and then then the rest of it, people are like, I don't care about that. People like the gameplay.
Yeah, it's not really a game you play for the story. And I mean, back in the day, I think I liked the humor when I was in middle school and stuff. But I've even seen a lot of people who played Borderlands 3 that was like, yeah, I liked this back in the day, but now this just feels like a game with early 2000s humor that just does not land whatsoever. Yeah. And I see that only made worse in a movie. Not high hopes over here for me.
Something I have high hopes for, and I'm saying that unironically.
Yeah, you are.
For once, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we got that name drop, the most surprising name in the history of the world.
I was shocked.
Yeah. The third one better be called Sonic and Knuckles. That's all I'm saying. And it is coming April 8th, 2022. We'll see what happens with that, because COVID and all that kind of stuff. Things could easily... Hey, that could be when Black Widow comes out and then Sonic's like running like, bye, Black Widow. But yeah, this is a cool little teaser thing. Just like nice little Sonic movie and just the reveal of the two. What I like about the two is the stylized, like it has tails, two tails.
Yeah, it's cute.
So that's cute. It's like immediately like, okay, Tails is going to have a big part in this, obviously, which was an obvious thing, but just kind of like, okay, they're just telling us, confirming it now.
Yeah.
Which I am all for.
So very quickly, is this movie going to take place, do you think this movie is going to take place a lot in the actual like Sonic world as opposed to real world
I think there's going to be more reality happen because there are a bunch of different worlds in the rings that, spoiler for Sonic, that Sonic has are actually transporters that can teleport you to different places.
Okay.
And that's what happened. Again, spoilers, when Eggman in the end, Sonic sent him to a different world. Yeah. And he's stuck there, and that's when he shaved his head and had his mustache grown out and actually looked like Eggman. Right. Which part of the reason I'm excited, because they've set up a lot of stuff. Okay, this is going to just be more straight up weird Sonic shit going into the second movie. Which is what has,
weird Sonic shit.
Yeah, which has me and a lot of other people excited, because, again, a lot of people were surprised of how enjoyable Sonic was.
Yeah, because like in the first one, you only saw Green Hill Zone like briefly, right?
Yes,
at the very beginning.
Well, yeah, and then the town was called Green Hill.
Because like I would want to see more like Sonic worlds. And stuff,
I agree. Yeah.
As opposed to just all real world.
Again,
shit,
like the Sonic was good for what it was. It's a weird thing with the first Sonic movie, was like, I can tell a good many people behind this are actually Sonic fans and care.
Which is good. Yeah.
But with some of the choices, like with the world stuff and the Olive Garden product placement, it's like he had the businessmen grummy hands into this with some of the decisions.
Yeah, so it's like,
but they made it work.
Yeah.
And they kind of set it. They set up a lot of what we would hope for from a Sonic movie, more for the sequel, especially with the Tails reveal during the mid-credit scene.
Yeah, nice.
Which is what I'm very curious about Tails, though. If I'm not mistaken, during the scene, he talks for like 2 seconds, and it is the normal Tails voice actress.
Okay,
but literally everyone but Eggman got fired.
Okay, so it wasn't just Roger Craig Smith.
It seems it was everyone but Eggman, which in some ways I'm okay, because Eggman's voice is iconic with those roles. Like, he's the one who's been there the longest. Yeah. I'd say more than Sonic. As far as that particular voice actor.
But you're saying, so in the movie it's the same actor?
I believe so.
The games and everything? Okay.
Yeah, when obviously it's Ben Schwartz for Sonic.
I was going to say, well, there's really hasn't been... Were there any other voiced Sonic characters besides Sonic and Eggman in the first one?
No.
In the movie? It was like, okay. So.
It's only really those two.
Well, that's cool. That I honestly wouldn't have expected any of the video game actors to end up being in the movie. So
I saw people mention it. I haven't. It's been a while since I've actually listened to Tails do voice acting coming out, and the voice is not like that out there. It can have a sound alike.
I will say, I didn't mention in the Steam sale, I also got Sonic Mania for $5.
Fuck yeah!
Which, I mean, everyone, it's $5, and I kind of want to play that. So that might be after Forgotten Anne. I might dip into some Sonic Mania.
Nice.
I hadn't played a Sonic game in like a long time, so that'll be a blast from the past.
Yep.
Literally, I mean, like Genesis, like that's the last. I didn't play Generations or any of that. So, I guess I played Shadow the Hedgehog on the PS2 as a kid. That was probably after.
I also played that game.
you can't. You have to admit you played it.
Of course I am. Also, another exciting thing for setup, they did have Echidna's like Knuckles' plan in the beginning of the movie. That's who was chasing Sonic.
I mean, he's going to be in this at some point. Even
I think they confirmed Knuckles is going to be in this one.
Okay, nice.
Which, again, getting all those characters in there, it's
going to happen.
Yeah, at this point, I trust them.
Yeah.
Daria, again, I am so shocked how excited I am for a sequel to a Sonic the Hedgehog live action.
That's good. We're slowly getting there. We're slowly getting out of the dark ages of video games.
Yep.
Hopefully, Mortal Kombat will be good in its like dumb Mortal Kombat way. I have some faith in that movie.
Yeah. And look forward to us talking about that movie when it comes out. Because HBO Max, baby. Other news. Kingdom Hearts is coming to PC. It's coming to Epic Game Store.
Kingdom Hearts mods.
Yes.
Sora is going to be Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm ready for it. Yep. Xehanort's going to be fucking, I don't know.
Ronald McDonald.
I'm ready.
This is kind of crazy. I'm just like, suddenly it's like, hey, the series that finally got all PlayStation and random Nintendo handhelds. And, went off in the Xbox. Like, oh, here's the whole series on PC. Like, even Xbox, I don't...
Yeah. No, it's not. Is it?
Did they? I don't think they got it.
Well, look.
Yeah. Or maybe just got it, and now suddenly it's like, oh, here's everything on PC. At least when Kingdom Hearts 3 launched, it was on there. I think I can't remember.
I know it wasn't at launch, but
Yeah.
yes, it is on
Well,
Xbox.
I know 3 is on Xbox. I'm talking about the rest of the series. Because, like, if that's so, suddenly PC's getting everything. Okay.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, okay. It was added on there. Yeah, that's right. That's
February 2020.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's after people usually cared. So yeah, now finally Kingdom Hearts is on everything. We're finally, again, showing that Japanese games are finally like, okay, we're just going to put it on everything.
Yeah, I was about to say, we've just seen a trend recently of like a lot of JRPG series. Like all the Tales games are on here now. Persona 4 be on here. It's like, it's taken a long time, but I'm kind of surprised we ever got here. There's some of these series I just never expected to go on there, but now like Atlas Games, I think Catherine's also on there. You know, like that's. I hope that just happens.
Yeah,
like is the standard going forward. I wish 13 Sentinels was on more than just PS4. You know, because that game also needs some help.
Definitely needs some help. And I guess the thing that people are bummed about with Kingdom Hearts, it is an Epic Game Store exclusive.
Yeah, which you won't find us carrying over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that just nothing but good news, and we get to see what the community makes of Kingdom Hearts mods, and I'll be very excited about that.
Depending on what they do with mods, this might be my first time repurchasing a game on PC.
Square Enix is like does a lot of anti-mod things to make it hard to do, but you can download. I mean, people are going to do it, but like downloading mods on Square Enix games is difficult. But like I haven't done it completely yet because there's a lot of steps.
I probably won't do it, but there's a chance I do. Yeah. Next thing, Black Myth Wukong. We got a second trailer. It kind of confirmation that this game is still a long way away.
Yes, I still have trust issues with this game, but I mean, it looks unbelievable. It's a crazy. If you missed this, is just like it was about a year ago. It was like last summer sometime. It just kind of came out of nowhere. It's a game that's being made by a Chinese studio. Honestly, still don't know a ton about it. And like, kind of just there was just a trailer that popped out of nowhere that was like, this just looks like it looks way too polished. It looks like crazy. The effects are just like absurd. It has like all these like gameplay, like the animations are just like ridiculous. It looks like the type of stuff that would take years and years and years and years and years to make. So everyone, myself included, were like, okay, this looks really good. This is
the catch?
This is probably fake. I mean, this is probably just made for this one trailer, and like that's literally it. And it's like the full game is either never going to come out or it's going to be like something way less substantial. I still feel like that might be the case after this trailer. This was a second trailer that was just as
that's
crazy,
a fair thing to say right after Cyberpunk comes out.
Exactly.
Especially when we don't know anything about the studio before this thing.
Because we just look at like polish and like just quality of animations. I mean, this looks way better than Cyberpunk ever looked in that regard. Because, I mean, it's just like an action game.
It's a different thing as far as like maybe what I'd be trusting, but
I just mean of like
the general idea of it.
Technical prowess of doing, this is not trying to be an open world thing, this is an action thing, but it's still like, it looks too good to be true. I hope I'm wrong. Because, I mean, it looks very impressive.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of cool to see if this is real, and if this is a thing that really comes out, and it's like in that level of quality. I hope that we start to see AAA development happening at other places around the world, so it's not just American studios are the only ones making like really big budget, like Red Dead Redemption style, like realistic, crazy things like that. Because more competition is good, and you get to see a different. Like when I'm seeing all these creatures in this game, none of them really look like the normal fantasy creatures I've seen. They all look like slightly different. Like that has a weird bull head and a rat body and a weird, like, it's like, you know what I mean? It just looks different. And like, certainly with a lot of like, especially American and Japanese games, you start to see the same things come up. And that's usually all we see in games is America, Japan. It's usually it.
We're going to see something different. Final thing out here, I guess maybe we go to little NPDs after this. We got a little look at gameplay for Nier Replicant version 1.22477487139. ...
Yeah, don't read that.
Yeah, about 10 minutes of gameplay, and Australia gameplay jumps around a little bit. They kind of let us know when things jump and all that. What's very interesting for me is seeing just a nice string of gameplay, seeing what this is all about, and then seeing comparison videos
Nice.
for this, and like there's this crazy Q boss. Like, man, that's insane. How they did that 10 years ago. And I saw it's like, man, this looks a lot better. Like, there's a lot more detail to all this, and to just the environments and stuff. That's just great. It's like immediately made me look back at the old footage and like, woof. And just some interesting tidbits. I'm bad with the names for it. I can't remember the name. But it was confirmed that I can't remember her name's pronounced Kane or Kana.
Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yes. Voiced by Laura Bailey in the original, and is voiced by her again in this. Lines are all re-recorded.
Wow.
And I saw in comparison, it's like they changed the dialogue a little bit by letting her cuss a lot more.
Nice.
She's crazy. Like, I was, because I've not played the original Nier, so the girl she's playing as, and like, I don't know her personality. It's like, oh, she's this kind of girl. She's pretty foul mouthed.
Nice.
Sounds like it'd be fun. Though I don't like her outfit because it's one of those like too revealing things. Like, it's like 2B on steroids.
I mean, I played a little bit of, I didn't talk about it this way, I played a little bit of Nier Automata. I mean, like, yeah. It seems like that's probably pretty prevalent in this series.
Yeah. Apparently the story reason for it, I'm like, I don't care what that reason is. That it's probably
she breathed through her skin.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be like a quiet explanation. Like, no.
Well, at least just like I didn't actually see this trailer, but I saw some screenshots and everything, and like especially since I did just play about 3 hours in Nier Automata, when I look at the screenshots, I'm like, this just looks like Nier Automata, which
just
is
in a different setting.
Yeah, which is a compliment. I'm like, yeah. That means they probably did a pretty good job of like bringing this, modernizing this. Mm-hmm. Does the combat look like very Nier Automata, or does it look like?
I don't think it's as fast paced or anything. Just kind of looking at it, but I do think they probably sped it up a little bit from the original, and took a little change. I think there were a lot more like bullet hell orb things shooting at you. It looked like from the little I've seen in comparison to the original, but yeah. Look crazy. I'm ready for this game.
Awesome. I'm excited for you and Jakob.
Okay, let me try to find that NPDs real quick, and that will be our last thing.
Yeah. We'll just breeze through it, get the good shit. Yeah, sorry, Jeff. I didn't even know, and I'm not the one that does the new stuff that much. Yeah. Just slipped right on by me.
Let me see if I can find it.
And yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you too, Jacob. I did try Nier Automata this week. Got about like 4 hours in, and I was pretty bored, so I will not be continuing with that.
Jari's a loser.
I am a loser. It's just...
Okay, guys, just kind of...
Bad frame problems on that game too. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you're playing PC?
No,
PS4.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
It's very framey.
Let me see. Yeah, bear with me since I'm kind of reading the little thing. I usually have it a little more organized before going in there. Okay, let's go into this. Let's see. Sales of video game hardware were 144% higher than January 2020. I don't think that's a big surprise. Let's see. Nintendo Switch was the best-selling hardware platform in units sold in the month of January. Let's see. Unit sales of Nintendo Switch were the highest of any platform in a January month since the Nintendo Wii in January 2010. Craziness, Darby.
Nice.
Let's see. PS5 was the best-selling hardware platform in dollars sold in January, with the highest dollar sales total for a January month since the Nintendo Wii in January 2009.
Damn.
Yeah. And again, one of those things where you think of how good PS5 sold, just think how it would have been if it was available.
Yep. It could be way more.
Yep. Let's see. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was January's best-selling game. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has been the best-selling game in the U.S. each month since its November launch, and is now ranked as the 20th best-selling video game in U.S. tracked history. How many of those are Call of Duties?
Most of them.
Yeah. And GTA and Red Dead probably be in there, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the second best-selling game of January. When comparing each title's first 3 months of sales, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is now the second fastest-selling Assassin's Creed franchise release in U.S. history, trailing only Assassin's Creed 3. Okay. Dario, have you seen any of this stuff as far as the rankings?
No, I'm not. I was just thinking about the fact, how many series we see where they say like, oh, they sold, this game sold more than the entire series combined. Can you imagine how much a Call of Duty would have to sell for us to say that?
I mean, like, this is the best-selling game ever, isn't it?
It's the best, just anything sold. Like, everyone on Earth has a copy of it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's for fun, since we don't get to do this often, I'm going to have you guess.
All right.
I did the first two for you. What do you think number 3 is?
Well, I already missed what you said the second one was.
Assassin's Creed.
That was the Assassin's Creed. Okay.
It was number 2.
Okay, you did see so. Okay. For January.
It was the... I don't know how much this will help you. It was the 4th best-selling game in December.
Wait, is it Miles Morales?
Yes, it is.
Hey.
Miles Morales actually went up a spot.
Wow.
Doing pretty good, having some legs.
Nice.
And again, this is dollars. This is dollar sales, and this is a little cheap. This is cheaper than the other ones.
Yeah.
But I guess also that's good for Assassin's Creed, considering it's on sale at $30. I see it constantly now.
Yeah, I think those go on sale pretty fast.
Ubisoft games.
Just all Ubisoft games do, yeah.
Seeing Immortals constantly for $30.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yeah, I've been tempted to.
Number 4. It's it's one of those games we usually see at the top here. A big franchise, one we see very often. Some would say yearly.
Blanks. I mean, is it like a freaking NBA or Madden or something?
It is Madden.
It is Madden. Okay.
Jumping up from number 5. Okay. Actually, I just realized for 3 through 6, literally they all just went up a spot. So, nice. Okay, for fun, Darby, the next 3, 5 through 7, are all Nintendo games.
Okay.
So, I will see if you can name them, then maybe think of an order for them, if you can.
3D All-Stars.
No.
Is not one of the 3?
It is not.
It's Animal Crossing?
Yes.
Mario Kart 8?
Yes. Another big seller for Nintendo recently. Has legs for days.
51 Clubhouse? No.
Metaphorically and figuratively. And literally, sorry.
Literal legs? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're referencing? The legs? The literal legs?
Yep. It's literal legs. It has to do with literal legs. We'll go with that.
I don't know.
You might have played it. We talked about
Ring Fit.
Yeah.
Ring Fit.
Jumped up from 19.
Yeah.
What order do you think that is? Actually, I'll just go ahead. For time's sake, you named it in the order Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, Ring Fit.
Nice. That is the order I would have predicted, yes.
Yeah. Ring Fit jumped up from 19 to 7.
Damn.
Yep.
Probably because they just made more of them. It's another one that they just haven't been able to make enough of.
Yep. Let's see. I will do it for all of these at this point. I'll just go for it at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 8, jumping up from 26, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 9, jumping up 2 spots from 11, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Going down 2 spots at number 10, NBA 2K21. Let's see. Going down a spot, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Jumping up 2 spots, FIFA 21. Going down 4 spots, Immortals Phoenix Rising. I think for that, the fact that it's so kind of...
Yeah, I'm happiest on this list, period.
Yeah. Going up 6 spots to 14, Mortal Kombat 11. That game just has legs.
Probably sale, yeah. It's on sale a lot, too.
Yeah. Number 15, Just Dance 2021. Number 16, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 17, Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition. Specifically. Dropping from 2 to 18, Cyberpunk 2077. I'll throw this out there. No digital sales. But something to keep in mind is one of the big things for this is, well, there are no digital PS4 sales.
Yeah.
So that includes every single PS4 sale it might have had.
It is still wild that still hasn't come back.
And also, to add in that as well, Not going to have PC sales, obviously, because they're digital, which is going to be a good chunk of it. But
I mean, to be fair, it sold a lot at launch. I mean, there was whatever that really freaking stupid GameSpot article that was like, it went down in player base so much. It's like, every freaking game does that.
I agree. But I will say, I still think this is a pretty significant fall, just regardless.
It is.
I think regardless of everything, the fact that Immortals is ahead of it in their second months is, even with all those asterisks.
Yeah. It probably isn't without the asterisks, but it's close at least. It's close enough to be there or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I still think compared to what it compared to what it could have been, it certainly, I mean, I still think it's ultimately not going to shake out as high up as CD Projekt Red maybe thought.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be far from a failure, like sales wise, but it's certainly not going to be like a top of the year all the time, whatever.
Yeah. Number 19, just falling one spot. Your favorite game, Super Mario Party.
Just doesn't deserve anything, any happiness. It doesn't
jumping up 20 spots from 40 to 20. UFC 4.
All right.
Yep. Let's go.
People got really excited about UFC all of a sudden, I guess.
Yep. Cool. And normally we do best-selling games, 10 top best-selling games of the year, but it's just the top 10 of this list.
Yeah, it's too early. Yep. Yeah.
So that is all the big information from that.
Dope. Well, I think that's a podcast, Jeffrey.
That is a podcast.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Look forward to things coming up. Definitely WandaVision. We only have a few more weeks of that. So we'll have that will be on Nerds Large Spoilercast feed coming up soon. And make sure you go check all of our Game of the Year 2020 and non-gaming 2020 stuff. This will be the last time I plugged that. But still have a lot of cool stuff in 2020 that we talked about. So, peace.
Bye.